Thank you very much. What a group of people. We love this group. You voted for me. They never had a chance in Pennsylvania. They never even had a chance. But I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful Commonwealth at the legendary Mon Valley Works Irvin plant, with the proud Pennsylvania patriots who are the heart and soul of U.S. Steel. Thank you very much. That's great. Oh, you're going to be happy. You're going to be happy. There's a lot of money coming your way. It's a lot of money. You're going to say, please, sir, we don't want this kind of success. It's too much, sir. We can't take it. Please, we beg you, we don't want this much success. But we do, really, don't we? We're going to be so successful. You have just started. You're going to watch. We're here today to celebrate a blockbuster agreement that will ensure this storied American company stays an American company. You're going to stay an American company. You know that, right? But we're going to have a great partner. We're going to have a great partner. And I have to tell you, Japan has been a tremendous friend of mine during my years as president. And then we had a little hiatus. We had a rigged election. But then we won. We said, let's make it too big to rig. And they made it too big to rig. And this is a much more powerful term than we could have ever had the other way. So a lot of things, God was looking down on us all for a lot of reasons, including right there. A lot of reasons we were blessed, and you're going to be blessed. You're going to see that. It will keep its headquarters in the great city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where it belongs. For generations, the name United States Steel was synonymous with greatness, and now it will again be synonymous with greatness. That's what it's going to be. The best and strongest steel on earth will forever be made in America and made in Pennsylvania. And I want to thank a man that I saw right at the beginning of this whole thing, during my first term, as we call it, U.S. Steel President Dave Barrett. Dave, thank you very much, wherever you may be. Wherever you may be. Thank you, Dave. And he came to the White House and he said, sir, we're in trouble. We need help. He was put there to save the company, right? I remember it so well, like yesterday. He was put there, they hired him to save the company. And he came up and he said, we need help, sir. I said, what can we do? Because all the steel companies were going south. They were all in trouble. He said, if you could get tariffs, sir, and save this company. And I thought about it. I studied it up real quick. It took me about 2 minutes. And I said, Dave, I think we're going to make you very happy. And we did make you happy, didn't we? We saved the company. We put 25% tariffs on your company. So we had protection. We were protected from outside horrible influence, including dumping, where they were dumping steel all over the United States, and we saved it. It was a great honor, and Dave was really the first one that brought it to my attention, and I appreciate it, Dave. You did a good job. You did a good job. He more than saved the company, he made the company great. This will be a great company in a very short period of time. Also, the vice chairman of Nippon Steel, Takahiro Mori. Takahiro, thank you very much. He's a great guy, highly respected. He's highly respected all over the world for what he's done with steel. He's going to make this is going to be his pet project. It's going to be great. Thank you, Takahiro. Appreciate it. We're also pleased to be joined by a man who's done a fantastic job. He's central. I always say he's central casting. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Where is Scott? Central casting. Thanks, Scott. We had a good report today. I don't know if you saw. The numbers were through the roof, and there was no inflation. And they said, you know, Trump was right again. And we're all saying, oh, inflation, inflation. We're taking in billions and billions of dollars in tariffs and other things, and we're keeping our competitive nations, we're keeping them, they're competitors, and we're keeping them totally at bay. And we right now have the hottest nation anywhere in the world. And 6 months ago, we had a nation that was dying. We had a nation that was cold as ice. And now we have the hottest, most talked about nation anywhere in the world. anywhere. Good job, Scott. Also, Secretary of Labor, Lori Chavez DeReamer. Lori, thank you very much. Highly recommended by the Teamsters and a couple of others, I have to tell you. And I said, I'll take that. I'll take that. But she's been fantastic. Also, we have some incredible congressmen and women. Mike Kelly, where's Mike? Mike, he's wearing a shirt today. A lot of times he doesn't. If it's cold, he doesn't wear shirts. Thank you, Mike. Dan Muser, who I hear is going to maybe be running for governor. That's what I hear. I hear there's a rumor about that. There's a rumor about that. Another man, yeah, good luck with that, Dan. I'll tell you, if that's your decision, you've got my support. You know that, right? If you run, you've got my support. He's been, Guy, don't you think he's been a great congressman? He's been a great congressman. And if you run, you have my support totally, and you'll win. You'll win. The people are going to get it real fast. Thank you very much. Good luck. Guy Reschenthaler, who is a fantastic person, with a very good friend of mine today, and I appreciate you coming together. And Guy, thank you very much. What a job you've done from the beginning, right? We never had a problem from day one, you and I. Thank you very much, Guy. Great job. Mike Ruley. You know Mike? Where's Mike? Mike? Thank you, Mike. Great job you're doing. Thank you. Really, really good. And another friend of mine, a great hockey player, actually, Pete Stauber. Pete, thank you. What a great hockey player. He was the real deal, right, Pete? He'll even admit it. He's going to admit it. Pennsylvania Senate President Pro Tem Kim Ward. Thank you. Good job, Kim. Good job, thank you. A woman who's an incredible writer, actually. She understands what they call the Rust Belt. We won't be able to call this section a Rust Belt anymore. It'll be a golden belt. It'll be a golden dome, right? It'll be part of a golden dome that we're building to save everybody's lives. But this is a woman who's really fantastic. She's a brilliant writer. She just got signed up by, of all groups, the Washington Post, that's big time. Selena Zito. Where's Selena? She's around here. Selena, thank you. She understands you people and me better than we do. She understands us, and she got it right from the beginning with Trump, didn't you, Selena? She said right early on, guess what? He's going to win. That was when people were saying, really, is he running? He's only doing this for fun. She said, no, he's going to win. And I wouldn't say it's fun, but boy, are we doing progress, right? We're making big progress. So you have a couple of people here that I wanted to introduce because, you know, being a guy that's watched a lot of football, this man had tremendous courage. He had a lot of grit. And everybody knows he wasn't the largest person on the field at all, but he was, in many ways, the most courageous. Rocky Bleier. Rocky. Come up here, Rocky. Come up here. Come up here, Rocky. Come up here, Rocky. He's such a great heart. Come on up here, Rocky. Wow. And two other people I want to bring up because I'm a fan of your Steelers. And I happen to think a really good quarterback is a man named Mason Rudolph. And I think he's going to get a big shot. He's tall, he's handsome, got a great arm. And I have a feeling he's going to be the guy. So Mason Rudolph, come up here. And also a safety who's an absolute killer, Miles Killebrew. Do you know Miles? Come on up here, Miles. Come on up here, fellas. What a team, huh?
Mr. President, on behalf of U.S. Steel and to the people of Pittsburgh, more importantly, though, to all the Steeler fans that are here this evening, I have the honor of making you an honorary Pittsburgh Steeler and would like to present to you your jersey With the number 47 as the 47th President of the United States, a number that hangs in the National Football League Hall of Fame, I'd like to present to a Hall of Fame president. Please accept it.
Listen, I'm honored to be here with a great Steeler legend like Rocky Bleier, somebody who fought for our country in Vietnam and came back and played some great football with the black and gold. Awesome to be here, a part of this big investment in Pittsburgh. Go Steelers.
How about this president of ours, huh? Just wanted to say God bless you, President Trump, and God bless you, Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great group of people. And he did have a lot of courage, didn't he? Not that big. It's like, okay, I said, Rocky, I've had you up to here. But boy, does he have a heart, right? Hearts, it's all about the heart. Also, Senator Dave McCormick, who had a great election victory, and he sends his regards. He's trying to get a certain bill through that's going to give you the largest tax cuts in history, and we got to get it done. So thank you to Dave. He's been great. Perhaps most importantly, let me thank the tough, hardworking members of the United States Steelworkers Local 2227 and the United States Steelworkers Local 1219 and the United States Steelworkers Local 1557. You people are amazing, and look what you've been able to do. Look what you've been able to do. This is a big deal today. This is a big deal. You know, I have to tell you about Nippon. They kept asking me over, and I kept rejecting it. No way, no way, no way. And after about 4 times, I said, you know, these people really want to do a great thing. They really want it. And they're putting up, you know, billions of dollars, and they're going to do this plant and other plants, and it's great, and you're going to have control, you're going to maintain control, and nobody would put up money like that. And every time, Dave, I think you'll say, every time they came in, the deal got better and better and better for the workers, because I didn't give a damn about anybody else, if you want to know the truth. And the rest of them, they'll take care of themselves. But for the workers, and I have no doubt that Nippon and Dave and everybody else, we're all working together, and I'm going to be in Washington. I'm going to be watching over it, and it's going to be great. But there's unbelievable spirit for what you're doing, and I'm telling you, you're going to find out that the great people of Japan, and we love them. You know, Shinzo Abe was my friend. He was a great Prime Minister of Japan, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us. You know what happened with Shinzo, but he was a great friend of mine, an amazing man, and it's an amazing country, and you're going to have a tremendous relationship. So thank you very much. We very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. For more than 124 years, the men and women of U.S. Steel have poured the molten metal and forged the tempered beams that built America's railroads, bridged the mighty rivers, and raised up towering skyscrapers like the ones we have in New York. 100 stories high and much higher than that. The city of Pittsburgh used to produce more steel than most entire countries could produce. And it wasn't even close, but our steelworkers know better than anyone. Decades of Washington betrayals and incompetence and stupidity and corruption cost this region over 100,000 steel jobs, and they melted away just like butter melts away. Between the year 2000 and 2016, more than half of all the jobs in Pittsburgh iron and steel mills were obliterated. They were just absolutely taken away. Just taken away like you take away candy from a baby. When I came into office 8 years ago, I proclaimed a simple but crucially important principle. If you don't have steel, you don't have a country. You don't have a country. You can't make a military. What are we going to do? Say, let's go to China to get our steel for the army tanks and for the boats and ships. A strong steel industry is not just a matter of dignity or prosperity and pride. It's above all a matter of national security, and it is. You're going to see some amazing things here. That's why I fought for the American steelworker like no president has ever fought before. That's why I won your votes like no president has ever won before. And right from the beginning, it didn't take long. You got it right from the beginning. I think before I even opened my mouth, because even as a private citizen, I used to fight and say, what are you letting all of these countries come in and steal your jobs, bring them to other countries? Why do you let that happen? Not only here, but all over the country. In 2018, I imposed historic tariffs on foreign steel, and the results were amazing. You wouldn't have this plant right now if I didn't put on 25% and 50% tariffs. They were dumping steel, as you know, from China and from all over the world. They were dumping it all over our country, dumping it. And it was bad steel, it was garbage, but it was steel, and it was cheap as hell, and it was a terrible thing. And you wouldn't have had any steel mills. I don't think, Dave, they'd have a steel mill open in the country if we didn't do the tariffs. And it was just in time. It was just in time. They were closing up as fast as you can count. In a few short years, domestic steel production surged by more than 10 million tons. Imports from your foreign competitors dropped by 24% almost immediately. And more than $15 billion of investment poured into American steel throughout the United States, all because you had a president who stood up for our steel workers and put America first. I'm very proud of that one. Stood up for everyone else, too. But then came 4 calamitous years of a president who obviously wasn't doing the job. I'm trying to be nice, so you know I have to be nice. But what he did to this country is a disgrace. Between the borders, millions and millions of people pouring through our borders from all countries all over the world. They came from the jails of the Congo. They came from all over South America, prisons, gangs, drug dealers, drug merchants. They came from mental institutions, the mentally insane. They were pouring into our country by the millions. They allowed this to happen to our country. But we're moving them out, or we're moving them out fast, or we're bringing them back to where they came from. We're having a lot of problems with the liberal judges in courts, the radical left crazy judges that, you know, they come in without courts. They pour into our country totally unvetted and unchecked. Nobody checked them. Nobody had any idea who they were. 11,888 of them were murderers. 50% of those over 11,000 people that were murderers, 50% murdered more than one person. And these people were allowed to come into our country by the Democrats, and you can never forget what they've done. And it's a single, we've beaten inflation. Look at what we've done. Look at the numbers that came out. The prosperity, now everything is good. First time ever, right track, wrong track. We're on a right track. First time in 28 years. But they allowed that to happen. I built almost 700 miles of wall. If we didn't have the wall, we could have never done what we did. Over 700 miles, but still they came because they didn't want to finish. They didn't want to close up any gap, the gaps that we had to keep so that we could get our equipment out, so we could get through. They didn't want to put up the final stages. It would have taken 3 weeks to put up the final stages. They said, no, we don't want the wall built. And I thought they were kidding, but they weren't. They wanted open borders, and what they let into our country can never be forgotten. The last administration granted tens of thousands of job-killing tariff exemptions to your foreign competitors. So they were afraid to take down the tariffs that I imposed because it was so good for our country, so much money. But what they did do, think of this, they gave exemptions, and they were so broad and so deep. And I guess you saw that, but the exemptions that they gave allowed foreign competitors to come in and steal our industry, steal our jobs, and bring them back home, and bring them home by the boatload, crippling imports of foreign steel, skyrocketed over the last 4 years like you have never seen before by over 30%. That's an incredible, crazy number. And imports of steel and rebar from Mexico exploded by more than 1,000%. We were getting our steel from Mexico. We were getting our steel from Canada. We were getting our steel from every place, but right here, it was then that we announced the crown jewel of our steel industry, U.S. Steel, was being sold into foreign hands with no protections for our great steel workers. And I said, there's no way we're going to let that happen. When I was watching over you, you don't even know it, I was watching over you. I tell you, best people. You're the best people. You built this country. You know, you people built this country. You people and others like you built this country. By the time I came into office, many feared that the Mon Valley would lose up to 3,000 steel jobs, that U.S. Steel would close, and it was a fixture of the Pittsburgh skyline. It may never live for another week. We had times we thought we were going to live. You weren't living for another week. But I promised the people of Western Pennsylvania that I would never, ever let that happen. And as president, I kept that promise. Boy, did I keep that promise. So soon after initially taking office, I imposed powerful 25% tariffs on all foreign steel and ended each and every one of the Biden exceptions and exclusions. And today I have a major announcement. And are you ready to hear this? This is on behalf of Scott, Secretary of Treasury, Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, and all of the great geniuses and people we have working, and they are smart, but I don't think you'd be a good steel worker, Scott, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to put a little more muscle content into that guy, but he's great. He's great at what he does. We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that. So we're bringing it up from 25%. We're doubling it to 50%. And that's a loophole. And by the way, I have to tell you, I believe that this group of people that just made these investments right now are very happy, because that means that nobody's going to be able to steal your industry. It's at 25%, they can sort of get over that fence. At 50%, they can no longer get over the fence. So congratulations to everybody and to you for making a great deal. You just made a better deal, right? I said to the group, would you rather have a 40% increase? Because I was thinking about 40 when I came. I said, would you rather have a 40% or a 50%? They said, we'll take 50. I said, I had a feeling you were going to say that. So congratulations. Also, congratulations to Dave, because you got this whole thing started. Congratulations. Great job. Great job. The people here understand the word tariff, and you understand it better than the people on Wall Street. But now the people on Wall Street are finding out. They're saying, wow, you know, Trump was right. You saw today, they had an announcer, Joe Kiernan, CNBC, Maria Bartiromo, who's so fantastic on Fox Business. And they were saying, you know, Trump was right. Look at these numbers. The numbers got released today at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it showed no inflation and tremendous income jumps for workers and for the people of our country. And they go, wow, he was right. He was right. But you knew that. You knew that before Wall Street. The workers knew that. We don't want America's future to be built with shoddy steel from Shanghai. We want it built with the strength and the pride of Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh steel, it's U.S. steel, and it's going to be something even more special when you get all that billions of dollars of new equipment that they're going to be investing right here. Billions and billions of dollars. Since I imposed our steel tariffs, and you know, I said that tariff to me is the most beautiful word in the dictionary. I love the word so much. I've always loved it. For 40 years, I've loved it. For 40 years, I didn't understand why people weren't in this country using tariff. They use tariffs to kill us. They use tariffs to take our businesses, not only steel, other businesses too. And we never knew how to use tariffs back because we had people in the White House that either didn't care or weren't very smart or both. And it really starts with the White House. It's very simple. It starts with the White House. But I said, it's my favorite word in the dictionary, the word tariff. And I got slaughtered in the fake news. I got killed. They said, what about love? What about wife and family? What about God, they said. So they made the word tariff be my fourth favorite word. And now I have no complications. It's my fourth favorite word. God, wife, family, all of the different things, but they did. It's not even believable. I said, tariffs is my favorite word, and I got slaughtered by these people. But we've had a lot of fun. We've jousted for a long time with the fake news. But companies all over the world have announced nearly $10 billion in new investments in steel, just in steel alone. But the Nippon investment we're announcing today blows them all away with a record-setting, and this was just heard of. We just came out a little while ago. $14 billion commitment to the future of this company. That is the single largest investment. That's the single largest investment of any kind in any industry. So not only steel, go all the way back. You go into fracking, you go into anything you want to go into because you're a good fracking state too. We love fracking, by the way. But think of this, the largest investment of any kind in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and we also will be the largest investment in the history of American steel industry. There's never been a $14 billion investment in the history of the steel industry in the United States of America. And Pittsburgh will very soon be respected around the world as the Steel City again. So I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate you. As part of this monumental commitment, Nippon will also invest $2.2 billion to increase steel production here in the Mon Valley Works, specifically allocated to Mon Valley, along with $200 million for the Advanced Technology Research and Development Center that's being built already in Pennsylvania. So I want to congratulate you. And in addition, another $7 billion to modernize steel mills, expand ore mines, and build state-of-the-art facilities in Indiana, Minnesota, Alabama, and Arkansas. So I want to thank you and congratulations to those states. Congratulations. And the bulk of these expenditures will be made in the next 14 months. It's going to happen fast. You're going to be very busy watching trucks go back and forth, loaded up with cash, or its equivalent. And it will create and save over 100,000 American jobs, including 14,000 jobs in Pennsylvania. Thank you. Very good. And by the way, your local union, I won't talk about your national union because I don't think he knows what the hell he's talking about. But your local union, I want to tell you, is so unbelievable. They've been great. I have to tell you that. This is an incredible deal for American steelworkers, and it includes vital protections to ensure that all steelworkers will keep their jobs and all facilities in the United States will remain open and thriving. U.S. Steel will maintain. I don't want to fight with those guys. They look pretty well. I'll never fight them. U.S. Steel will maintain all of its current operating blast furnaces at full capacity for a minimum of the next 10 years, and we have that as a commitment. But I don't even think that's I don't even think you have to worry about that. You're not going to have to even think about that, frankly. It won't matter because they're going to be here for a long time, a lot longer than that. There will be no layoffs and no outsourcing whatsoever. And every U.S. steel worker will soon receive a well-deserved $5,000 bonus. That's very rare. Thank you very much. That's great. That's importantly. For what you've gone through a lot. It's closing, it's not closing, it's opening, and you want to stay here. People say, well, we'll move to another place, or we'll do chips, or we'll do something like chips. Somehow you don't want to do chips. I'm looking at these giant guys with the giant arms. You're not going to like doing chips. Most importantly, U.S. Steel will continue to be controlled by the USA. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done the deal. I wouldn't have done it. But the USA, and we're going to be working together, and you're going to look at your board. You have a great board, and we're going to have an amazing alliance. In this audience are many of the incredible workers who will really be bringing our steel industry roaring back to life, and it's going to roar, including a man who has supported me from the very beginning, the founder and steelworker of Steelworkers for Trump in this area. I have some of these guys, they're great. And I had somebody in Michigan that was so great. I love that guy. And I love this guy. He's been with me from the beginning. Brian Pavlik. Brian, come up here. Come up here, Brian. Brian's been with us from the beginning. Oh, look at him, big guy. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Yes, you did.
It's a great day to be an American steelworker. It's an honor to be on the stage with my hero and the greatest president ever, Donald J. Trump. Hello, my name's Brian Pavlik. I'm a third-generation steelworker and the president and founder of Steelworkers for Trump. The attempted assassination of then-president candidate Donald J. Trump prompted me to establish Steelworkers for Trump. Our membership now exists at 2.5K. In my opinion, President Trump has demonstrated remarkable support for the American steel industry, surpassing the collective efforts of all other presidents combined. Through tariffs, he has fought to keep steel being made in America rather than being dumped onto us by China. Through this deal, he has fought to keep us billions of dollars in investments that will secure jobs for generations to come. Thank you, President Trump, for your commitment to revitalizing the American steel industry and restoring its greatness and in making American steel great again.
Thank you, Brian. Great guy. And he was with me right from the beginning, I think, Brian, right from day one, and I appreciate it. We won't forget it either. So let me also bring up real fast a few guys that I met backstage that I was very impressed with. Jack, Jason, Scott, Donald, and Kurt. Come on up here, fellas. Get up here. Come on up here. These guys are great. Come on. They're happy people.